Hola, ¿cómo están todos? Bienvenidos a una nueva charla de franquicias. Espero que todos estén excelente. Hoy día tenemos el placer de poder entrevistar a uno de los vicepresidentes de Neighborly. Lau, ¿te subo un ratito?
Hola.
¿Cómo estás, Lau?
Bien,
Bueno,
bien.
hablemos un poquitito de nuestro invitado de hoy, por qué quisimos traerlo hoy. Y bueno, cuéntanos un poquitito lo que tú sabes de este grupo de franquicias.
Bueno, en realidad yo estoy súper emocionada de entrevistar a este invitado porque esta es una de las marcas, yo creo que de hecho es la franquicia más grande de servicios para el hogar aquí en los Estados Unidos. Así que es una marca que trae muchísimo valor, que aporta muchísimo valor a los inversores y tiene muchísimas marcas hermanas. Entonces hay muchas opciones para los inversores. Y bueno, hay para todos los gustos, la verdad. Así que a mí eso me gusta bastante.
Sí, nuestro invitado está teniendo problemas de conectarse, por eso que estoy tratando de buscar otra solución. Así que bueno, aprovechamos también para que en este espacio puedan preparar sus preguntas. A ver, voy a intentarlo de esta manera. Bueno, ojalá que funcione. Bueno, chicos, ahora les cuento un poquito. Como saben, acá en los Estados Unidos hay un montón de franquicias. Nosotros en portafolio tenemos 700 franquicias. Nosotros muchas veces hemos compartido que preferimos que nuestros clientes trabajen con franquicias maduras, franquicias que tengan cientos de unidades, franquicias que estén en el mercado hace 10, 20, 30 años, que las franquicias sean bastante solventes y también que puedan poder apalancarse. Entonces, acá en los Estados Unidos hay grupos de franquicias, por ejemplo, en el pasado, para los que nos vienen siguiendo de acá hace años, hay un grupo de franquicias que se llama Neighborly, nuestro invitado de hoy. Hay otro grupo de franquicias que se llama Home Service Concepts. Hay otro que se llama Authority Brands, Premium Service Brands, y así sucesivamente. Entonces, una de las ventajas de poder ustedes evaluar uno de los beneficios que ustedes tienen es poder, ahí está el invitado, poder evaluar no solamente a las marcas, pero también quiénes están detrás de esta compañía, cuáles son las marcas hermanas, qué les ofrecen como umbrella, como la marca grande, que tiene todas estas marcas dentro. Así que de eso se trata hoy. Bueno, aquí está nuestro invitado, así que voy a aprovechar y lo sumo. Hi, Pat. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. We're all in Orlando today.
We are at the Hyatt Regency in Orlando. Yep, for a conference. So yeah, for the FBA. Yep.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I am in Winter Park near you, and then Laura is near here too. So we're all in Orlando today.
Excellent. Well, the text came through. All the other links you sent didn't via email for some reason. So I got it via text. So that's good.
Got you. So, Pat, we want to let our audience know, because you're an author, let's start to begin with that. How long have you been in the industry, Pat? So we're going to ask you some questions specifically that apply to Neighborly, but also some questions about franchising. Like, for instance, how do people do to choose a good brand for them? So let's start with, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how long you've been in franchising, what do you do for Neighborly today?
Yeah, sounds good. Right now, or you're good?
Right now. Yeah.
All right. So yes, I've been working with and around Neighborly in franchising for over 31 years now. The first 17 years, my wife and I had a manufacturing business, and we used to sell our equipment to a lot of franchisees of franchisors. And that's how I got to know a lot of amazing franchisors out there in the industry. And after we were fortunate enough to sell that business to a venture capitalist, Neighborly, I was going to actually have a role similar to yours, Yellow, is as a franchise broker. And And Neighborly said, hey, would you ever consider moving to the great city of Waco and help us launch some of our Neighborly brands? And we prayed on it. We ended up being there. But in addition, my wife and I are also multi-unit, multi-concept franchise owners of our own. So we literally understand what clients are going through because we sit in their shoes. We will have opened up 4 new franchises within the last 2 years that we open up here at the end of November. And we look forward to it. Keep growing in the space.
Pretty awesome. So what are the brands? So here they are. So when people are trying to choose a brand, for instance, if you were in the market because you want to buy a business, what is the criteria? So let's talk about within these brands, and we can use examples because this is what our people tell us, for instance. How do I choose a brand that is good for me? Let's say my investment amount is $150. Yep. Which brand I will be best suited with that investment amount?
Yeah, that's great. As we kind of work with different clientele, it's not only investment amounts, but what they're looking for. Are they open to more emergency driven brands, that are 24/7, that would be more like heating and air conditioning or plumbing or restoration, right? Or are they looking for more Monday through Friday during daylight hours, right? Like landscaping or window cleaning or maid services. So then what we can do is we whittle it down from the opportunity that might suit them, but also for revenues, right? Like Housemaster is a great opportunity for somebody that's looking to maybe, go out there and do the work themselves, where a lot of our other brands were looking for more of an executive leadership role where they build the team to go out there and build the business. And then, of course, the investment, like you mentioned, is very important, because certain brands, like a Grounds Guys is an investment of about $150,000. There's others like I said, Housemaster, it's a lower investment because it's you as a home inspector kind of going out there. And so your investment is lower compared to if you're going to be doing restoration. You might have to spend $250,000 to $300,000, right? Because you need equipment and air movers and, dehumidifying equipment and stuff like that. So we literally look at owners of what their ultimate long-term goals are. And then we find the right vehicle to get them there and see if it matches up with the investment.
Got you. Yeah. So sometimes, it takes, we also do like an assessment with our clients. They fill out like a comprehensive buyer profile because we want to know if they want a Monday through Friday, how active they want to be in the business, and what are their strengths. Like if they like selling, if they like the commercial piece. And sometimes when the client says, I don't think I'm a great salesman, for instance. I'm looking for something that is recurring. Maybe I want to buy something, a franchise that is already established, like a resale, that I can leverage from the existing clients and I can grow from there, right? And sometimes we get somebody that says, I will want to be kind of semi-absentee, dedicate 10, 20 hours to the business. So somebody who wants to do, and let's talk about investment amount 150 to 200, and they want to be semi-absentee, they don't believe they are too good in sales. Which brands do you think will be good for them?
Well, you definitely want to have all of our brands have, we're headed towards call centers so that it allows somebody to be able to have, that if they're not ready for sales, you're going to have somebody typically go out to make sure that, that are consumer facing, that are going to be on their property, whether it's to inspect their home for the maid service or, Mosquito Joe to walk around their property to educate them on the property. So I would say that, all of our brands will have, if the owner is semi-absentee, they're obviously not going to be the ones with sales, but they need to hire somebody for sales, right? Any business, it's hard. And I'll share this with you. I know your listeners and probably realize it is, if they're not going to be the one focused on driving the business, they have to have somebody to do it, right? It's just pretty straightforward. That's in any business. So I would say that all of our brands have that to where you have the ability to take the calls in and we convert those into appointments at least 80% of the time for us to go out there and sell that product or service or do that first service service right away.
Did you mention 80% of the time? So does that mean that the conversion from the leads that you guys get, 80% converts into a client, into a potential client?
Yeah, well, we do. Yep. Yep. Well, 80%. The goal is that we train the customer service on the property. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, or did you break up?
I didn't catch the whole thing because I lost you for a sec. Laura, were you able to get that?
No,
Yep.
I'm sorry.
No worries. So what we do is 80% of the time we convert those, we train the customer service reps to convert those into an appointment at least 80% of the times. And they can literally convert them into a sale at that point. Why that's important is this: 83% of the time, when somebody's calling for a home service need, it goes to a business's voicemail. We don't do that. We make sure that they get answered every single time, so you can convert that. As you know, in most home services, a lot of times if things go to a voicemail, guess what? They're not going to wait for them to call them back. They're going to pick up the phone and call someone else. That's where we have the advantage to get in front of them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Those are the benefits of that call center. So let's run through the brands really quick. So for this real property management, the client needs to have a real estate license. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. And we work with that over time. That is a long-term rental. Somebody that has a property that they want to rent out long-term. It could even be, let's say somebody lost their loved one, and they have a piece of real estate in a different part of the country. And instead of selling it, they want to lease it out. So they have the ability. So this is long-term property. Junking is exactly what you're talking about. Did you have a follow-up question to that?
No. That's great. I just want to run through the brands, and then we're going to
let me do it.
Okay. So AC, right? Ursa, AC, Housemaster, you just mentioned junk removal. Mr. Handyman is awesome. We actually had an interview with Greg the other day. You mentioned restoration, cleaning services. What does Dryer Vent do?
Dryer Vent Wizard is, that it prevents house fires. Dryer vents get clogged from the HVAC system. So not even for a efficiency standpoint, but also for obviously house fires. Molly Maid is taking care of the maid service in home. Glass Doctor not only takes care of auto glass, but it also does flat glass. People wants a new shower enclosure. If their window gets broken, they can get that. Lawn Pride is a turf care opportunity for weed and feed, kind of like a True Green. Mr. Electric deals with the electric. Mr. Rooter deals with the plumbing. The grounds guys deals with everything, landscaping, outdoor, cutting the grass, doing bed enhancements, but also doing holiday lighting and also doing outdoor patios and kitchens and pavers and big projects like that. Shelf Genie takes care of the shelving within a home to make it more efficient, more user-friendly, and organizing that way. Window Genie not only cleans windows, but they also do pressure washing, gutter cleaning, holiday lighting, and window film. Precision Door deals with the garage doors, and Mr. Appliance deals with all the appliances within a home.
Perfect. So we have a chart here of the evolution of you guys here. Is pretty amazing. So let's talk about the main benefits that you guys offer to people who join the Neighborly family. So we translated, of course, some of the slides. So more than 30 brands, more than 5,500 franchisees.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
$4.1 billion system-wide sales in 2023.
Yeah, and we're looking to do about $4.5 billion. We are growing at a great clip still. Even with this economy, that's the one thing I'll share with you about our brands is they are very, very stable businesses. It doesn't matter who's in the White House. It doesn't matter what the economy is doing. It doesn't matter if there's a pandemic or not. Our businesses do very, very well. So unlike a lot of businesses that are economy driven, ours continue to grow.
Yep, that is pretty amazing. So let's talk about how do people, so they have many benefits, right? People who join Neighborly, they have so many benefits. And this is something that also wow people is the money back that they get. Can you explain more on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it. As a $4.5 billion company, we have better negotiating power than an independent business owner would have on their own. So we use that leverage to drive down the cost for our franchise owners. So we have over 270 pre-approved vendors, and they not only got back in discounts over $98 million back to our franchisees last year, but we also gave back over $8.5 million in rebate checks. I don't know another franchisor that has given back checks to their owners, much less over $8.5 million. So it literally gives our owners a unique advantage in their community.
That's pretty awesome. So one of the benefits that I see and the clients that I work with when they belong to a franchise group like yours is that this is what they tell me every time, that they save so much money in marketing. Because the sister brands, right, they are able to leverage from them. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so that's called our Neighborly Hub. And if you think about the red oaks in Northern California, everybody thinks the red oaks are these big trees and they grow. The reason they continue to grow is because of the root system underneath, that they're all intertwined. Think about that for Neighborly. We have all these customers, over 12 million active customers so if you get your electrical service done and you need your landscaping done, you have access to that same customer within the system. So we have those sunk costs. So it makes somebody, they pull up the Neighborly app on their phone and they pull it up and they say, yeah, I need my appliance repaired. And so they have all those Neighborly brands done of a captive audience.
Great.
So Pat, I have a question for you. Thank you. First, thank you for joining us. I'm really glad you're here. And what do you think, what do the most successful franchisees have in common?
Yeah, that's great. Number one, they know their why. They know why they're doing what they're doing, because that's where you get your grit. That's why you're going to get up and go to work every single day, right? And then there's two other things that I would say: how much of the systems they implement and how quickly they implement the systems. Those are the most important things that I see. But Laura, the one question, if somebody says, hey, how do I get off to a fast start and how do I make sure I'm successful? Number one, they got to implement the proven marketing plan. Number two, they got to build, lead, and inspire the team. And number three, they got to work with their franchise business coach to know the numbers. So implement the proven marketing plan, build, lead, and inspire the team, and know their numbers.
That's good. And what about the franchisee growth? How easy is it for franchisee to scale their business within Neighborly?
To scale within the same brand or with other brands?
Both.
Yeah. Well, with the same brand, it's those three things that I just talked to you to go out there and how quickly they implement and how much of the systems they implement. So they'll be able to grow it. And they work with their they work with their franchise business coach to say, when do we add another truck? When do we add another route? Hey, by the way, when do we stop working from our home? When do we lease a building? When do we stop leasing a building? And when do we buy a building and lease half of it out as an income producing asset? So now they have the ability to generate income that way. So we help our owners grow within their business, not only that way, but also in other ways. The other thing is, once they actually, Laura, have the ability to grow it, they may get another one of the same brands, or they can say, listen, my customers already love my landscaping services I provide. They'll probably love that I can take care of their windows and everything as well. So they'll layer on all those other businesses. And a lot of times they're in the same location, Laura. So their costs are sunk. So their ability to get to profitability is much faster.
Got you. So for the first scenario, Pat, will the franchisee need to purchase an additional territory, or do you think from the single territory they have, will they be able to, let's say, reach $1 million, $2 million in sales?
Yeah, all of our brands have that ability for sure. It's whatever their goals are that I would share with you, Yella, is where do they want to be? Some people are empire builders. There's no place out there better than Neighborly for empire builders. However, we also have owners that want to build a great business, make a great income, and have one opportunity. So we're really available for many different types of people looking for accomplishing their goals.
Do people in Neighborly today, do they purchase more than one territory at a time? Do you guys prefer that people invest in 2 territories, or are single territories okay?
It depends on the brand. Like the Grounds Guys is multi-services within one territory. So you can empire build within one brand. You cut their grass. The Grounds Guys, for example, is the nation's largest residential landscape company in North America. And we still have over 500 territories still. Guess what? Now, so they cut their grass, they take care of the beds, but then they can add on turf care. Then they can add on irrigation, holiday lighting, outdoor patios and kitchens. So by the time they stack all these services, they have multiple businesses within one. Where if you're like a Mosquito Joe, which is a great route-based business, you can add a territory and we'll have a 2 or a 3 pack, for something like that. So you can add on different territories. So all of our businesses are a little different. Like Grounds Guys and Window Genie, you typically have one location because you can add multiple service verticals on it. And then maybe add another one adjacent to it. Where some of them, like Mosquito Joe, you can get a 2 or a 3 pack up front.
Perfect. So somebody can own Grounds Guys and also own Window Genie. So with the same office, they will run the 2 units.
Yep, you got it. We typically like them to go out and build that first one first and get that successful, and then they add the other. Yep.
Perfect. Laura, you had something else?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of Neighborly employees like you and Greg talk about networking. Can you tell us more about the network that franchisees benefit from?
Yeah, it's probably the most valuable component of who we are at Neighborly. With 5,500 franchise owners, you become the average of your 5 closest friends or sphere of influence. Think about that. So who do you want to hang around? You want to hang around successful people. Not only do we provide systems and processes, structure, and support operationally, but we provide a network of owners that are already where our owners want to be. So it gives them the ability to grow and talk to them and say, hey, I'm needing help in this area. What have you done? Hey, I want to get to this point. What have you done? It literally gives them that network of owners. That's probably one of the biggest reasons, Laura, after the first 2 years that people never want to leave Neighborly, is because of the network of owners that are similar to them and what they want to achieve in their goals. And why that's important too, Laura, do you know that only 4 people out of 100 that we ever talk to ever get invited to come to one of our Meet the Team days, right? And of those, only 2 out of 3 ever get awarded the opportunity for a franchise. So I want you to think about the caliber of owners that they're going to be associating with. It's a great network of owners.
Yeah, that's true. So when it comes to challenges that the franchisees face, for example, so for you, what are the biggest challenges franchisees typically face when starting?
I don't know if they're challenges. It's just called work, right? We go to work every single day, whether it's for somebody else or for your own job. I mean, you know what I would say? And we usually filter this out as we go through our qualification process and meeting candidates, is we want to know somebody that is going to follow the processes and follow the systems and not want to reinvent the wheel. Laura, if I would say if somebody's out there, they would have challenges if they want to go out there and try to pave their own way. The reality is there's been a lot of time and money and effort put into proven models to make sure it, and it's just a waste of time. So I would say that would be the only challenge I could see, is if somebody doesn't want to go out there and buy into the system, the proven model and a proven system.
Okay.
What about employees? Pretty much every company, that's what they say, that the biggest challenge is to hire employees, train them, retain them. Do you guys at Neighborly help with the hiring process, or do franchisees have a challenge when they launch their businesses with hiring and retaining employees?
Yeah, that's why we start with it on day one. It doesn't matter whether it's a Neighborly brand or the Hyatt Regency where I'm staying at today, or wherever. Getting the best in recruiting. How do you recruit, hire, train, retain, compensate, and recognize the best team members? Neighborly has a program that is called Paradox. It is a recruiting platform that generates between 30 to 40,000 applications every single month for our franchise owners. And it allows them to recruit the top talent, because not only do we just make sure that they have an amazing recruiting platform, but we also teach them how to become great leaders. How do you build an organization that makes them want to tell their friends and their family members that this is a great place to work for?
Yep. That's one of the things that I also love about it. And let's say also like investment, right? Because everybody wants, a recession-proof business. Everybody wants low overhead. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the expenses that franchisees in this industry incur when they are launching the business.
Well, you're going to always have your franchise fee. You're going to get depends on the brand. If you have any equipment, some brands have more equipment, some have less in your vehicles, but then you'll need your marketing, because you got to market to get your business started, right? And then you'll need operating capital. That's where typically around $150,000 is where most of our Neighborly brands land, to be able to cover all that. The other thing I'll be candid with you is that owner, if they're going to start the business, they want to make sure that they have enough personal capital to take care of their personal responsibilities for 6 months to a year, up to 2 years, whatever their budget is, right? So that they're able to focus on building the business the right way. So that is the investment, to make sure that you're building that, that you have that available from day one, so you can focus on the business. And so also, the other thing I will share with you is when you're building your business, you're going to generate profits, some a lot quicker than others probably in franchising out there. I've seen some, a lot of our brands, do very, very, very well. Some don't. So you got to make sure you have that, but you got to then reinvest with all those profits. You're going to be able to get three things with those net profits to do. Number one is reinvest back into your business to grow more. Number two, it's to pay you and your team members dividends. Or number three, to save that money. Well, whatever it is, depending upon the life cycle where you're at with your business, are you going to go out and reinvest into another business? Are you going to go invest into real estate? Whatever that is.
Absolutely.
Pat, how open are you to working with buyers who are applying for an E2 investor visa?
Yeah, some of our brands are more so than another. All of my brands are great with it. For the landscaping franchise, as well as Mosquito Joe and, Window Genie. And we have others that are as well. E2 visa, what we want to make sure is that they do have a good command still of the English language, right? Because they're going to be leading teams, and that's going to be important for us. And there's a lot of great E2 visa attorneys out there, but we are definitely, we've seen a lot of success bringing E2 visa candidates into our Neighborly family and have great success.
But let's talk about, if you could choose only the top two main benefits that franchisees with Neighborly get, which one would they be? Let's talk about marketing to start, and then what else?
A couple of things. All right. Besides obviously just having proven systems, it's being part of Neighborly, where you have over 12 million customers that we've already got captive, right? Think about that. that we already have access. So if we award you a franchise in a location, all those other Neighborly brands that are already there, we already have access to that. There's nobody in the world. We are the largest in the world in this space. Number 2 is our Pro TradeNet program, which is a discount program that allows them not only get discounts on vehicles and uniforms and credit card processing, but also health insurance and 401k and vision and dental and everything like that. Our franchisees get amazing discounts on that so that they don't have to worry, because that's one of the biggest reasons that they don't want to leave corporate America are the benefits. I hear from a lot of our owners that they typically get better insurance rates and everything with our Neighborly programs than they do even if they were in corporate America.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I'm a franchisee as well. So this is what I love about, being a franchisee. Mentorship from other franchisees, community, we all help each other out. We're part of something big. And that is pretty amazing to be with a leader, to partner with a leader. Laura, do you have another question?
My last question will be, Pat, what is your favorite brand from Neighborly? Like the one you say, go for it.
My sweet spot is the Grounds Guys. You know what? It's really a cross between Grounds Guys and Window Genie. And here's why. I'll tell you. Because like Grounds Guys, you cut grass, but that's just you're on people's properties every single week. And so that you're getting all this consistent cash flow. And then you get to layer on all these other services when you're there. You get to layer on, like I said, the pavers and the hardscape construction. You get to do turf care, irrigation, holiday lighting. Same thing with Window Genie. You get to take care of their windows twice a year. Then you get to do gutter cleaning, pressure washing, holidays, all these things. That's what I love, is when you can be on a customer's property over and over. And Laura, I'll share this with you. A lot of people think, oh, there's so many landscapers. There's so many in all of the spaces, plumbing and maid service and everything we do. But here's the thing. The customer experience, the level of satisfaction, the bar is set so low, it doesn't take much to overwhelm and impress a customer today. So when we go onto a customer's property, we make sure all those things are done where most other people want to get on a customer's property and off a customer's property as fast as possible. Why? They think time is money. Well, guess what? Yeah, but the property doesn't look good. So our customers are happier when they pay our owners more money. Think about that. You have happier customers that pay more money. That's why I love those brands.
Yeah, thank you. I think I'm all set. I don't know, Jalif, if you have more questions.
Yeah, I think we're all set, Pat, because we love to have you again. I know. Thank you so much for making the time. I know you're part of a conference, so we love to maybe bring you back again. Now, is there anything that people should know about Neighborly before we conclude?
Wow, that we're just getting started. Anybody that's looking to be considered for our Neighborly brand, we have taken 46 years to get to where we are today. Okay, think about that. We have taken a long time to get to where we are. The owners that come in right now are at such a unique spot that all the founding fathers up to this point worked to get to where we have such a critical mass that we're the largest home services franchisor in the world, that new owners get to be able to have access to these customers, these vendor programs, the network of owners like it is. So that's what I'd want them to think about.
Awesome. Corporate is in Texas, so all the training that franchisees go through is in Texas?
Mostly in Dallas-Fort Worth and in the Dallas area, as well as Waco, Texas. We also have a couple other locations like Virginia Beach and maybe one other, but mostly in Texas.
Perfect. Okay, Pat, well, go have a great time at the conference.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Have a good evening, ladies.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Pat. Have a good night.
Okay.
Bueno, ahora sí.
Ahora sí. Bueno, nos dio mucha información.
Sí, yo me arriesgué a preguntarle las dos, la marca favorita, y bueno, ahí nos tiró dos datos importantes.
Me encantó, Lau, esa pregunta, que seguramente a mí no se me había ocurrido, y también él, que tiene la valentía de responderlo.
Claro, yo dije, bueno, por ahí nos va a decir, bueno, hay varias, están buenas todas, pero no, él tuvo la valentía de decir, estas dos son mis favoritas, y dio las razones, y son súper válidas también.
Claro, y si se dan cuenta de las razones son que es recurrente, porque estás en la casa del propietario todas las semanas, estás frecuentemente y así les puedes vender otros servicios, ¿no?
Exacto.
De repente, si lo comparamos con una compañía que hace reparación de aire acondicionado, van a ir a la propiedad cuando se les daña el aire acondicionado, o la franquicia que vende pintura o repara vidrios, van a ir ahí cuando lo llamen, pero en este caso están constantemente. Esa es una de los negocios que también a nosotros nos gustan y recomendamos, un negocio que sea recurrente. Sobre todo las personas que nos dicen, no me gusta de repente la parte comercial o no me siento cómodo aún, porque recién me voy a mudar a Estados Unidos, de repente mi inglés no está tan elevado, entonces prefieren algo así. También una de las cosas que no hablamos con él es que en una organización tan grande van a haber reventas. Hay personas que se están retirando después de 1 año, 2 años, 5 años, así que hay reventas para varias de estas marcas y bueno, van a tener que ver con cuánto ganan, ¿no, Laura?
Exacto. Sí, y aquí antes de hablar de las reventas, hay 2 preguntas que nos están haciendo. Una es, ¿puedo comprar una franquicia sin vivir en Estados Unidos? Yo creo que la respuesta también la dio él. No, porque ellos básicamente no aceptan dueños semiausentes. ¿Es así?
Sí, a menos que sea una franquicia ya establecida. De repente alguien que, como él mencionó varias veces, Empire Builders, ¿viste? Tienen personas que llegan a tener unidades de negocios de millones de dólares. Nosotros hemos visto, por ejemplo, que alguien pudo crecer su negocio de cierta magnitud donde el dueño está semiausente. Entonces, el dueño no necesariamente puede estar en los Estados Unidos, pero tienen un director, tienen jefe de operaciones para esta zona, jefe de operaciones acá, jefe de operaciones allá, y después debajo de esos jefes de operaciones tienen sus líderes de crew, de empleados. Entonces, si todo está organizado, así sí se podría. Y lo que sí por ahí, que la inversión de una unidad de negocio así puede ser de repente superior a $1 millón si se quisiera comprar un negocio de esa magnitud, pero para arrancar desde cero, Laura, tienes mucha razón. Nadie, Neighborly no les permitiría que ustedes arranquen una franquicia desde cero estando fuera. Él lo dijo claramente, que es necesario que el dueño esté acá. Y después, más adelante, si se mueven a otro modelo de negocios, podría, pero de arranque tienen que estar acá.
Exacto, sí, también, bueno, ellos tienen un proceso de selección bastante interesante, la verdad. A mí, ahora que estamos trabajando con unos clientes que están en este proceso de selección para ellos, es bastante extenso, pero muy enriquecedor. También, bueno, acá nos están preguntando, que hemos estado hablando y no hemos dicho cuáles son las 2 marcas favoritas de Pat. Una nos dijo Window Genie y la otra, no sé cómo se pronuncia, Yelif.
Grounds Guys.
Grounds Guys. Esas son las 2 marcas favoritas de Pat, Window Genie y Grounds Pats.
Sí. Y también, digamos, son las más económicas. Hace un rato también cuando mostramos todas las marcas, por ejemplo, hay una marca que hace inspecciones de propiedades, porque acuérdense que diferentes modelos de negocio van a tener diferentes montos de inversión, porque hay negocios que necesitan cierto equipamiento y hay otros negocios que básicamente, como esta franquicia que solamente hace inspección de propiedades, más que nada el costo es el trabajador que va a ir con ciertas herramientas, no necesitas vehículos, maquinarias ni nada. En comparación, por ejemplo, al de Junk, ¿no es cierto? Sí. Ese sí nos dijo que la inversión era superior a los $200,000. Laura, entonces, ¿qué opinas? Me encantó. Entonces, qué lindo la gente que son bilingües y se pueden aprovechar de todo lo que dijo, porque él nos dio una información excelente, porque Laura hizo unas preguntas excelentes también. Entonces, espero que hayan podido aprovechar de eso. Por ejemplo, Laura le preguntó qué conllevaba o los franquiciados más exitosos, qué características tienen, ¿no, Laura?
Exacto. Sí, ellos, bueno, en realidad él también nos dio bastante información por ese lado de cuáles eran los beneficios que él consideraba que tenía una persona que era franquiciado de la marca, qué beneficios obtenían al comprar una franquicia de ellos, y lo que tú dices también, cómo es el perfil de la persona que buscan. Dentro de los beneficios que él hablaba, y que bueno, Yelif, yo la verdad no tenía eso muy claro porque no lo sabía, pero tú también lo mencionaste, es, por ejemplo, un beneficio que a veces uno por ahí no le pone tanta atención, y es el seguro de salud.
Sí. Entonces, como son una corporación tan grande, los franquiciados tienen beneficios y también esos beneficios se los extienden a los empleados, porque uno de los problemas, me encantó que Laura le preguntó cuáles son los challenges, porque nada es perfecto. Todos los negocios van a tener cosas lindas y van a tener temas, por ejemplo, tema de empleados. Entonces, hablando de los seguros, Laura, imagínate si llegas a trabajar para una de estas franquicias que te ofrecen seguro de vida con un precio descontado, seguro médico a un buen precio, te ofrecen un plan de retiro, de repente estarías más apto a quedarte en la compañía trabajando por mucho tiempo. Él también mencionó la palabra liderazgo, que enseñan a que sus franquiciados sean buenos líderes, porque obviamente para poder construir un imperio necesitan tener un equipo grande de trabajo. Y necesitan poder lograr que los que empiezan puedan subir de puestos los más antiguos, entrenen a los más nuevos y así sucesivamente. Entonces, esto es lo que ellos les enseñan.
Y también uno de sus grandes beneficios para los franquiciados es la red de networking a la que accede una persona que tenga una franquicia. Eso es extremadamente enriquecedor para cualquiera, porque tienes ahí a la mano personas que te pueden ayudar, que han pasado por tu mismo proceso, que tuvieron en algún momento las mismas dudas, las mismas preocupaciones que estás teniendo, y te van a dar una ayuda de primera mano. Así que eso también es extremadamente valioso. Bueno, aquí por Instagram tenemos una pregunta, nos dicen, ¿cuánto es el mínimo para arrancar con una franquicia?
A ver, las franquicias más económicas, tanto de Neighborly como de otros grupos de franquicias, otras franquicias que están ahí, una inversión mínima hoy en día está en $120,000 y la mayoría de inversiones están alrededor de $150,000. Dentro de esos $150,000 incluye el franchise fee, derecho de marca, entrenamiento, las herramientas, los materiales de marketing que van a necesitar, el vehículo, cualquier equipo, licencias para el negocio, permisos, el seguro que necesita tener el negocio, setear la compañía y también capital de trabajo. Entonces, ustedes van a recibir un FDD cuando ustedes están evaluando la compra de una franquicia, y ahí en un artículo les va a mostrar detalladamente cuánto van a gastar como mínimo y como máximo en cada categoría. Nosotros les recomendamos a la gente que inviertan alrededor de, mejor dicho, superiores a $150,000. Y les digo por esto, por capital de trabajo. También Pat nos dijo que es bien importante que las personas tengan, él usó el número $150,000, superior a los $150,000, para que puedan tener buenas operaciones y que también cuando el negocio empiece a ganar, nos mencionó que hay varias marcas que llegan al punto de equilibrio relativamente rápido. A ver, ¿qué les digo? Nosotros hemos visto personas que han llegado al punto de equilibrio en el mes 3, en el mes 6, en el mes 9. Hay personas que se han demorado más de un año. Digamos, relativamente rápido es antes de 6 meses. Y, por ejemplo, él decía que cuando empiecen a tener estas ganancias, que las reinviertan de repente en un nuevo vehículo, en marketing, que puedan crecer su equipo, que reinviertan, porque esa va a ser la única forma de poder seguir construyendo y de poder llegar a esas facturaciones que todo el mundo sueña, ¿no? Y las ganancias. Con él no hablamos de las ganancias, pero es información pública que los negocios en servicios aquí en los Estados Unidos dan ganancias de un 15 a un 30%. Es un rango bastante grande, obviamente. Entonces, todo va a tener que ver en qué zona estás haciendo negocios, cuáles son tus costos fijos, los costos de tu personal, cuánta plata estás invirtiendo en marketing y todo. También cuán activo estás en el negocio. Nosotros hemos visto en los negocios operativos que están como en reventa, por decirlo, los dueños de negocios que están más activos en el negocio, que trabajan el día a día, que reportan que están trabajando 40 horas o más, estos son los negocios que están ganando más o menos el 30%, incluso un poquitito más. Y los negocios donde vemos que el dueño le da 10 horas a la semana o algo, de repente nos damos cuenta que los crecimientos año tras año o este año en el 2024, las ventas o han venido un poco de caída, no han crecido, entonces la presencia del dueño del negocio afecta, entonces va a afectar las ganancias. Un dueño activo de repente va a tener mayores ganancias que un dueño que no está tan activo.
Exacto. Pero bueno, entonces yo creo que ya para cerrar, si te parece, ahí vamos a hacer un recuento. Neighborly tiene aproximadamente 19 marcas aquí registradas en Estados Unidos, tienen presencia en todo el territorio, así que si ustedes tienen duda de algún territorio, nos pueden escribir, podemos chequear si tienen alguna reventa en ese territorio o si tienen territorio disponible en el que ustedes quieran, puede ser la ciudad, el pueblito más remoto, ahí seguramente van a estar presentes ellos. Y nosotros podemos verificar si ellos tienen disponibilidad de X marca en ese territorio y empezar a hacer toda la gestión. La verdad es que es un grupo de franquicias bastante interesante, muy rentables, son los más grandes del país. El trabajo de marketing que hacen es impresionante porque, o sea, con todas las marcas que han desarrollado son las número 1, cada una de sus marcas, así que se convierte en una muy buena inversión para alguien que esté pensando en hacerlo.
Sí, también están internacionalmente también tienen otras marcas, pero como Laura dijo, acá en los Estados Unidos tienen 19, así que está bastante bueno. Llámenos, pueden hablar conmigo, con Laura, con alguien del equipo, que les puede explicar cuáles son de acuerdo a la personalidad que tú tienes, de acuerdo al tiempo que la quieres dedicar al negocio, si quieres que sea de lunes a viernes, si quieres trabajar con un grupo de personal más pequeño que uno más grande, si quieres de repente hacer negocio con otras compañías, de acuerdo a cómo va tu fortaleza en la negociación, en las ventas o en la parte operativa, de acuerdo a tu presupuesto, de acuerdo a eso nosotros y también de tu zona. Obviamente una compañía tan grande así, hay territorios que ya están vendidos. Uno de ustedes puede decir, quiero estar en Lake Nona, en Orlando, y de repente no está disponible 1, 2 o 5 marcas que ustedes quieran, pero tenemos otras marcas que de repente sí. Igual en la parte de Miami, si hay personas que quieren tener, por ejemplo, Grounds Guys, en cierta parte de Miami ya le pertenece a alguien, ustedes no se lo podrían comprar, pero territorios vecinos de repente sí. Entonces vengan a nosotros para que nosotros les podamos verificar qué territorios están disponibles, cuáles son los mejores territorios, cuál marca sería más apta a las preferencias personales, lo que ustedes están queriendo. Muchas veces nosotros le preguntamos al cliente, idealmente, ¿a qué quisieras que se dedique el negocio? ¿Cuánto quieres trabajar? ¿No? También, ¿cuánto quieres ganar de arranque? ¿Por qué? Porque es posible. Es muy posible lograr lo que uno se propone. Me encanta también, Paddy, de ahí le vamos a postear en Instagram el libro que él escribió, como se dan cuenta, tiene una forma de pensar en los negocios y también eso refleja, varias personas en el mundo de la franquicia son así, y eso refleja cómo es la cultura de la franquicia, cómo es el corporativo. Y bueno, nada, espero que les haya gustado este episodio. Laura, yo no sé si hay algo que debíamos haber resaltado que no lo resaltamos.
No, yo pienso que ya como para terminar y por mi lado la conclusión que saco es que creo que a los latinoamericanos nos debemos educar mucho en el tema de franquicias, cómo es la estructura de las franquicias aquí en Estados Unidos. Son negocios muy bien estructurados porque para franquiciar necesitas tener una estructura detrás que te respalde, o sea, no cualquiera puede salir a franquiciar o ser exitoso en el mercado de las franquicias. Entonces, para mí como inversionista, que ya pasé por ahí, por ese terreno, creo que es una muy buena oportunidad y que alguien que venga de Latinoamérica se pueda apalancar y pueda aprovechar todos los beneficios que brinda, por ejemplo, en este caso Neighborly, pero también hay otras marcas de franquicias excelentes. Entonces, eso quería resaltar.
Sí, 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 sí. Bueno, chicos, muchas gracias por haberse conectado. Nos vemos el próximo martes en una nueva charla de franquicia. Como se dan cuenta, acá la idea es acercarles opciones, ayudarles a que entiendan cómo funciona el mundo de las franquicias. También están abiertos a mandarnos sus sugerencias. Si quieren aprender de cierto tipo de industrias, pásennos y nosotros vamos a estar más felices de traerles a invitados que puedan compartir esas cosas que ustedes necesitarían saber. Pero lo que sí necesitan saber es que se van a poder dar el lujo de poder elegir. Como les estaba explicando inicialmente, tenemos más de 700 franquicias en portafolio y en el equipo tenemos personas como Laura que tuviste 3 negocios aquí en los Estados Unidos, uno en Argentina, comprado, vendido negocios, emigrado, renovado la visa, así como los otros colaboradores de la compañía que les van a poder ayudar a no solamente navegar la elección del negocio, pero también a la obtención de la visa. Bueno, muchas gracias a todos. Gracias, Laura. Que pasen
Gracias.
una noche excelente. Les mando un abrazo gigante y muchos éxitos para todos. Gracias.